On commence maintenant. Chers amis, chers collègues, bonsoir. Merci à vous toutes et tous d'être là, d'être venus. Je suis ravie de vous voir à 8e réunion du séminaire de l'Institut de philosophie indépendant. Avant tout, je tiens à remercier l'Association internationale Dimitri Shostakovich qui nous a accueillis dans ces murs aujourd'hui. En raison de fermeture de la Sorbonne pendant la Pentecôte, le séminaire exceptionnellement lieu dans ce très bel endroit au centre de Paris. Je remercie également M. Emmanuel Huttwiller et Mme Irina Kataeva-Emar qui ont permis la réalisation de notre séminaire en présentiel aujourd'hui. Notre association internationale, Institut de philosophie indépendant, est fondée par des philosophes russes qui ont quitté leur pays en désaccord avec la politique militaire des autorités et la guerre en Ukraine. L'Institut a trois missions principales. Il mène des études critiques en philosophie, en sciences humaines et en sciences sociales. Il soutient les chercheurs qui ont été contraints de quitter la Russie. Il développe des projets de recherche conjoints avec des collègues du monde entier. Nous cherchons des réponses aux questions globales suivantes. Quelle est la logique historique et sociopolitique des événements qui se déroulent sous nos yeux? Quel rôle jouent les écoles et traditions philosophiques nationales dans le monde contemporain? Quelle pourrait être la contribution de la communauté universitaire pour sortir de la crise actuelle? Aujourd'hui, c'est la 8e rencontre de notre série de séminaires mensuels. La série s'appelle Les outils philosophiques dans l'analyse des défis contemporains. Pourquoi? Depuis le siècle des Lumières et les célèbres débats sur la philosophia popularis, la philosophie a été plusieurs fois confrontée à la question de son utilité auprès d'un large public et à la question de sa capacité à fournir des réponses aux défis contemporains. Est-ce que cette philosophie populaire peut conserver son caractère systématique, ou bien elle doit réinventer méthodologiquement pour résoudre des problèmes spécifiques? Au regard des perspectives d'aujourd'hui, cette question semble plus pertinente que jamais. En plus, les complexités des problèmes posés par les crises politiques, économiques et existentielles menacent la stabilité des structures démocratiques et provoquent des changements sociaux rapides. Les séminaires sont aussi en direct sur Zoom, et il est très important que nos collègues qui ne sont pas à Paris puissent y assister virtuellement et participer à la discussion. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes en présence de M. Ramchandra, sage de Népal, professeur de yoga, fondateur de 3 ashrams à Katmandou, et de Marina Bykova, professeur de philosophie à l'Université Caroline du Nord aux États-Unis, rédactrice en chef de la revue East European Thought. D'abord, M. Ramchandra fera sa présentation qui s'intitule La crise existentielle et la quête de harmonisation au quotidien dans le monde contemporain. Puis, Mme Marina Bykova prendra la parole à son tour pour parler de l'antiprogressivisme russe et ses origines. Les deux interventions se feront en anglais. On commence et, cher Ramchandra, je vous donne la parole, c'est à vous.
Merci, namaste. Je peux parler en français, mais je vais parler en anglais pour que tout le monde comprenne. Et voilà, je commence. Je viens de Népal, je vis en Népal, dans les Himalayas. Voilà, merci et namaste. Om Namo Matre Jaganmatre Bhagavate Namo Namah Mahashakte Mahavakte Maharmurte Namo Namah Namah Shri Aravindaya Namo Bhagavate Namaha Yoga Yogi Yugendraya Triloki Gurave Namaha. You. Thank you for your presence here in my conference. I'm very happy to be here amongst you from far away from Himalaya. And that last time in my institution, I run an institution called Sri Aurobindo Yoga Mandir. It's a big organization that I started 32 years ago. And I work with the children, destitute, orphan, poor, all sorts of children. And I have helped more than 1,000 children. And now there are 300 in 3 places in Nepal. But I work with all that type of people who are in trouble, mentally, physically, emotionally, and I try to give them a better life. Not only for food and stomach, that's anyone can give. And that will not either solve, big problems that humanity is facing today. So as you know, we all, for this corporal body, we all give food to sustain. For entertainments, we have so many things like pictures, plays, so many things for entertainment, for the mind. But we have nothing to feed our soul. So that is the, biggest lack in our life, that we are not content, we are not happy in spite of abundance of materialism and material ways. So there, practically I am doing, practically trying to support them and elevating them to a different consciousness, where you can say in our Vedic culture, we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means the whole earth is one family indeed. So with this motto, I created this organization, and I am doing it for the last 32 years. And time to time, I come here in France and other countries, And I give some lectures and some retreats, because in one day we cannot understand too many things. So we work hard more to understand who we are, why we are here on this earth, why we were born, what is the purpose of our birth, so etc. It's a big science. So if you are more interested, that we can do sometime in the future. So first I will speak maybe 40 minutes, and then you will have also floor with me sharing some question answers, then I will do. So the topic is the search for harmonization of everyday life in the modern world. So harmonization. Lord Buddha says, because he was born in Nepal, that's why I want to tell what he said. He said that all the problems of the world, of the human beings, or miseries, are the desires. So if you overcome desires, it means not that you don't want anything, no. You can have everything, but detached. You can have everything, but detached. So it is the attachment and desires with attachment that makes us unhappy. And when there is attachment, when there is desire, then it comes mine and yours. This fellow has become richer. I am still poor. This fellow has these things. I don't have these things. So, because of this, the clashes start. But when we say when we say all, working together, that's why in Vedic mantra, in our Vedic chanting, it says, Sangachadvam, we must go together. Samvadadvam, we should speak together. Samno manansi janatam, and we must know each other deeply, spiritually, inwardly. So that makes difference. Sri Aurobindo, in his famous epic poem, it's called Savitri, he writes there, all is too little that the world can give. Whatever the world can give, it's too little. All is too little that the world can give. Its power, it means the world's. Its power and knowledge are the gifts of time. It's gift of time. If you have something today, gift of time. You are president, it's a gift of time. You are young, smart, beautiful, it's a gift of time. And then, but it cannot fill the spirit's sacred thirst, the third line. But it cannot fill the FIWM, the spirit's sacred thirst. So that sacred thirst is within us. When we start, looking, searching, and fulfilling the secret thirst that is within us, then the life becomes different. then the life looks richer, vaster, bigger, all pervading. Then everything changes in life. But sometimes what happens, we are into our small periphery, surrounded by little things. And we don't want to come out of that. So that is why we do not feel things, as we supposed to. For example, actually, I left my parents when I was just 12 years in the Himalayas. I didn't have enough to eat. My parents were very poor, and we were 7 children. I was the eldest. And then there was no means to feed all the children. Then when I was 12, I said, look, now I am grown up enough. If I run away from the house, for my parents, one mouth less to feed. And with this, I ran away. But even in, when you don't have big dreams, material dreams, you become happy even in the jungles. If you are content within yourself, then you are happy. Even I had no food, that's why I had something to search at least for basic things. But if you have basic things, you shouldn't go just for material abundance, because the desires are unending. They will only create problems, complicate the life that you want to lead. So that is why, for basic things at that time, I said, at least my parents, they are struggling, and I want to be less burden on them. So I ran away. Before I was in the forest, happy, in the raining, just little bit even wild fruits, they were enough. But when I was in India, first time, after many days walking, and still happy, sometimes even without food for days, but still happy. But I was missing my parents, my friends, the mountains, the trees, everything I was missing because I was with them. The intimacy, the life becomes richer when you start loving everything. When you start seeing yourself, projecting yourself in all the nature that surrounds you. So then everything changes. So I was missing that. But still, because in life, there are many forces. Sri Aurobindo, he says that man as man is the most powerful creature of this creation, this universe. And also he said, but same time, man also is the weakest creature in this universe. So it is we now to choose whether you want to be the strongest or you want to be weakest. So possibilities are both. So that is why one has to interiorize. One has to go in within oneself and find out the path. So when I was in India, though I was missing, I was suffering material things. I mean, lack of food, lack of friends, but still I was happy. And I used to feel, yes, the whole world is, home. And there might be some purpose that I have to face these challenges, to learn more, to overcome things that we have within ourselves. And day after days, I learned something. I was even in Indian Army, and then the life was much easier for food, etc. But that was not satisfying me. When I grew 15, 16, I said, what am I doing here in army? I'm not here to kill anybody. So I said, this is not my path. So you see, food was my need before. And I was happy in the army when they were throwing so much food away because they were cooking too much. And when I used to see the food that was wasted, I used to remember my brothers and sisters. I said, wow, if they were here, they would have eaten this food. So, but when you are awakened, when you want something different, when you are open, because if you are all the time materialistic, you don't want to open yourself to the possibilities that is given to you. In fact, within us, there are many inherent dormant energies that can be, discovered and utilized and made our life richer in the sense not materially, richer and richer and richer. Somewhere Sri Aurobindo says, the heavens beyond are great and wonderful, but greater and more wonderful are the heavens within you. Heavens beyond means the planets, galaxies. These are wonderful, no? Isn't it? When you go through science and law, all these things, when you know, it looks incredible. It's wonderful. But he said, even greater and more wonderful are the heavens within you. So within us, there are so many possibilities. It is these Edens that await a divine work. So these Edens within us, hidden. The Eden garden, that these are hidden within us. So we have to discover that. Once we discover that, automatically the harmonization of this life begins there. Unless we are within ourselves, unless we do not discover ourselves, unless we do not know who we are, why we are, unless we do not know our possibilities within ourselves, we are not going to really harmonize and become useful to this world or to oneself. So I left army. I said, this is not for me. I give examples together. I left. My friends, they were telling, you are foolish. After 10, 12 years, you will get the pension. Your life assurance. I said, in 10 years, 10.5 years, I will ruin my life if I go on staying. You see, for some, it is so important. And for some, that's not important. Because it depends on our aim. What is our aim in the life? What do we want to achieve? What do we want to get? So, for me, that the monetary part and the worldly things were not interested. I was not interested. Though, I tell you, if it is needed, the material abundance too will come to you. If it is needed, if it is for your progress. We are here on this earth not to eat, go to toilet, and die. We are not here for this purpose only. We are here to discover something. I mean, the spiritual domain which lies within us. We are here to bring the divinity in our life, even in the society, in the people. Then only the harmonization will start picking up. Otherwise, no matter what happens, you can create anything, any type of medicines, any type of things, but we are not going to be harmonized and happy. So, because happiness is not depending on material abundance. Rather, with material abundance, you are in more problems. So, the happiness depends on your inner contentment, inner progress, on your inner spiritual richnesses. So happiness depends there. So that is why, first of all, for that, we must know, who am I? The first principle of education is to know thyself and the surrounding nature. So that is the core point that we should understand. So I leave the army and I am in footpath. Become a sadhu, become a monk. Monk means, a sadhu means who abandons material life in the search of truth, in the search of who am I, in the search of the beauty of the flower, the colors of the flowers, colors of the natures. What is that shines behind these flowers? So that is the nature, the divine nature that is everywhere. So I meet many teachers. And same time I start studying, because one has to make efforts. Things will not come just by sitting. One has to make efforts. One has to work hard. One has to go ahead and experience oneself. We are not going to progress religiously, just, okay, you get up in this time and you do this. Similarly, go to church or temple or ring the bell or go to a mosque or you do these things that will not going to really help us. Somewhere it might help you a little bit. But the real truth, the real energy, the real guidance, it has to come from within us. So to get that guidance, that truth that we possess within our soul, one has to work. To awaken, one has to work. So I started working. And no matter how hard it is, anything, if you say it's hard, no, I do not know Sanskrit. You know how I learned French? I said, I want to read. I was in Sri Aurobindo ashram. Mother has written many books in French. Before I said, no, a French woman, how she can be a spiritualized person? To read her, no use. So I was reading only Sri Aurobindo, the great yogi. Quotations, there used to be mother's quotation. I never used to read mother's quotation. Sometimes we have ignorance, prejudices, you know. And then suddenly something happened in me. Something happened. And I realized in that meditation, I realized that the mother is not ordinary. She is really a spiritual being. And I said, look, now I will not read her in English. I will read her in French. So that makes you courageous and that makes you something to do better. I was not learning it to stay in France. I was not learning it to read any, the les romans, tout ça. But I was learning it just to read her, the spiritual literature that enhances us. Ça nous amène au-delà ce qu'on pense, beyond everything. So, and then, everywhere, when you are in the spiritual path, everywhere you get many opportunities. Many, many opportunities. If you get stuck to one opportunity, one material opportunity or any types of, then you are gone again. So you have to go on advancing because like steps, when you climb the Mount Everest, you cannot just climb, You have to start and step by step. From each step you go further, each meter you climb on, you will see the horizon even vaster and vaster and vaster. So same thing applies in your life. If you are stuck to a lower knowledge, to a lower things, you will have just limited your periphery, limited areas. As you go higher and higher, you will be broader and broader, happier and happier, more and more content, and many things to discover. And the happiness and the force, the determination, endurances, all these will be there, pervading within you. The energy that will show you the path. So once you are interiorized, things become differently, and that inner life starts guiding you. So then, and things come. I was in sadhu 7 years. And then I saw even they are in limitations. Because what Gita, Upanishads, and Vedas, these are the great books that humanity we have. I mean, Hindus and Buddhists we have, that guide even us today. The problems, how we can control our mind, what is mind, what is vital, what is life, what is emotions. If you go in details, you will find everything there. And what are the purposes and why they are there, etc. Everything is. So when I was in sadhu, they say all limitations. These books, they say something different. The yoga should be like this. The divine is all pervading. It is in everybody's heart. And then they, in other way, they say they start believing in caste system. So all these things were, contradictory. I said, what is this? Then at that time, I get a book of Sri Aurobindo, a great yogi philosopher, who says that the supramentalization of human being is possible on this earth, who descended down the supramental power. For that, you have to go through many books to understand more, like who has written, the life divine, synthesis of yoga, secrets of the Vedas, essays of the Gita, and many, many other books, that he has written. And one of book, someone says, oh, you are a good reader, you read a lot. I don't understand this book. And I was in hurry. I go to my room, and evening, when night, I was calm and quiet when I read. That's what I was looking for. As if someone is writing my own thoughts, my own discoveries, my own possibilities. And I immediately leave everything and go to Pondicherry. Sri Aurobindo was seeing the address behind the book. And there I lived 12 years continuously. So, and it is there that I had many things that I had to overcome. We have ego, first of all, which is the greatest hindrance of our, for the harmonization of the world, for the crisis. That is one of the cause of the crisis. Ego is all pervading. And I had that ego. And that ego, how I had? Because I was thinking, I wanted to stay in ashram, but they gave me a work to clean the utensils of the people who used to come there, visitors in the dining hall. There were 4,000 permanent ashramites who were staying there, and thousands visitors. And when I wanted to stay there, first of all, they said, no, you are sadhu, you cannot stay here, you will go away, so we don't accept. I said, please let me know. Please let me stay. 6 months, give me at least. If I do not work properly, you can send me away. Then I thought I am sadhu, he will give me a nice job, sitting job, or those days there were no computers. But at least I know Sanskrit, if he can give me his teaching, but he gives me work in dining room, cleaning utensils, not with machine, those days with hands. Cleaning big, les marmites très grands, très, très grands, big, big pots. And that also with rotten lemon and the mud mixed to shine. And it used to, sully my hair, dress, everything. So I said, what is this life? And cleaning the utensils used, eaten by others, and the dirty water coming in my mouth. I said, what sin I have committed in my previous life that I was given this job here? That ego. I thought, I am sadhu. I must be appreciated or honored and loved by all of the people. You see, that was big ego. And one day what happened? One friend said, oh, you don't like, it seems very difficult for you. You don't like this job. You should go to the person in charge and he might change you the work. And I said, yes, he can change the work. He says, okay. Then I want to go, but I'm not happy. Suddenly something in me says, Ramchandra, do you know what is better for you than the divine? Then suddenly I say, no, I do not know myself what is. For me, what is better, I don't know myself, anything. Then the divine. Then suddenly the work that is given to you is for your progress. Then I return. I didn't go to his house. And I start working. Same work with love. Then the real yoga starts there. When you become egoless from within, then your doors of opportunity, doors of peace and energies and divinity are open to you. Then everything becomes, a family. Everything becomes that you are the universe and universe is you. That feeling, that experience comes. So this knowledge based on truth that lies within all of us, if it is practiced, then naturally the harmonization in the society, in day-to-day, this modern world, it will automatically come. Thank you so much. So the floor is yours now. You can please ask questions. If you have any questions, yes.
Ramchandra, please, if you can tell me some words about you receive very young kids. It means they're 6, 7 years old. So it's very interesting how these kids, because everybody is an intellectual person and spiritual person, so it's why we're here today.
Yeah.
Okay. But you receive the kids, it means the material, absolutely.
I receive kids of 2 months, 3 months, even with their moms sometime, because husband has gone with someone else, and yeah.
How you began education with the kids, or to open them? So what is, for example, the first education?
So it depends. For small children, we try to love them. We try to, even contemplate, play. What happens in community life, for example, if we are meditating here, for example, we try to bring down the peace, harmony, energy. So we invoke so that it penetrates within you all. So this way, because The energies work. Even children in the meditation, they sleep. Okay? But yeah, they meditate in our place, but they in meditation, it's normal, they sleep. But somewhere in their subconscious, they are meditating. The energy, the vibration that is there, that penetrates somewhere in subconscious. And when the time comes, it starts blossoming. So this way, and our system of education is different than the others. We are not teaching them just how to get a big post or get exceptional jobs, etc. No. First we teach them, learn who you are, become aware of oneself, one's soul, one's heart, even see the nature, what is there, that power within. So all these things, when the child starts from young age, then they become brilliant. Because when you do not know basic things, the inner energy that is very important for our blossoming, happy and useful life, you cannot progress otherwise. So they sit under a tree, they meditate, they observe the flowers, the colors, the beauty. So with nature, with everything that surrounds us, what is useful we learn. So that way, it's more we tell them to be aware of their abilities, capacities, of their inner beings, so that they can develop with their own inner, inner way, with their own inner possibilities. Yes. Any other question?
The age of the children with whom you work with from?
From 2 months to they can stay even whole life, because we need adults. And of course, in this modern world, because even being there, all are not for spiritual life, for dedication, for others. Because when you start giving without any expectation, that also brings you big joy. When you have expectation, okay, I'm giving something to them, he or she must give me back this, then it's like business. But the real love is, just to give. So some of them, they stay with the philosophy that they were in, when they were they were growing. So some they stay and they are very useful and they can stay, whole life, and ashram will take care of them. And many those who want to go and experience the world, and they can also, they are free. So normally from 2 months baby to now 30, 35 years old, they are there. Even old elderly ladies also we accept there. If they have no means, in outer life, because I want a life, not to separate the young generation from old generations. So that is the life, that is the beauty of the life. Nowadays, what happens? When the people are older, they put it into the how do you say the word? In old homes.
Do you believe more in the education of the group for the kids that in the individual education? I don't know that in your situation you cannot have individual, but in terms of with your parents, with all your with your so many groups that you have. So you think that this spiritual education with the group is more ethical, more
Yes, indeed. I have experienced in my 32 years of this, my own work with children. It is not only, even if they leave the ashram, wherever they go, they create a community where they start preaching and practicing what they have learned. And those who were who finished the education and system of our ashram, of our school, they are much, invited, more invited in their other parts, for jobs, for anything, because they feel that the person grown up in the ashram is sincere, more knowledgeable, and he can even preach us meditation and solve the problems. So because of this, they are in demand. Our boys and girls, they are in demand. Yeah. Yes, please. Vous pouvez parler en français aussi s'il y a le... Okay.
Do you think students who have been educated in the Western intellectual tradition, and do you not think that our tradition is difficult for us to, for example, learn detachment, because we are, educated in science, reason, personality?
Yes.
We are taught, we were, for example, Protestant tradition, that to succeed economically is to be in the path of God. So how do you deal with it? Thank you.
Yeah, with Westerners, you see what I am doing here, in fact, because many Westerners here, they have problem with their mind. So I try to, they say, oh no, Ramchandra, we cannot control our mind. I said, okay, you come for 6 days in a place where we work. Or if you come in Nepal, you come at least for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, where I can taste you. What is the joy of controlling your mind? So, but since your childhood, you lived in this exterior world, suddenly inner world, is not that easy. But slowly working, slowly, it is possible. So when I receive many messages, I'm coming from last 1 week ago, I was in Bretagne, in Bretagne. How do you say in French? Bretagne. So there were 14, 15 people. They worked with me. We meditated from since morning 6:30 to evening 10 o'clock. But in between, of course, we had some free time. But at the end of that, people were so happy because I worked with them. How to detach from the things and how to contemplate on one's heart beatings. I say meditation in your heart. You feel closer and closer to your heart. So this way I work. I give them classes and I put them into service also. You work selflessly, because I have my own experience. When in Pondi, when I realized that's our ego, that is the biggest hindrance. When you see, I am a professor, I am a sadhu, I am a knowledgeable person. These fellows are ordinary, this and they don't know anything, etc. When we have this notion, we are gone. So we have to, in reality, each essence, each divinity that is within us, even in that the smallest creature, the same divinity, same possibilities, same truth is residing there. So that we have to understand. So that is why I try to help them, but it takes time. Yeah.
Well, do we have another question? No, thank you very much. Thank
We
you.
have one question in the chat. We have one question.
Sorry.
We have one question in the chat.
One question.
Yeah.
Could you please? Yes.
How can we do to invite our family and friends to think about the importance of all you teach us?
Could you repeat, please?
How
Could you
can
repeat,
we-
please, your...
It's
Yeah.
written here in the chat, but I can repeat it
Yeah,
one time.
very good.
It's written here.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
How could we
Oh.
invite our...
How can we do to invite our family and friends to think about the importance of all you teach us? Yeah, it is. So what do you want to know? Please, can you just precisely tell me? How can we do to invite our family and friends to think about the importance? Means they want to more to contact with me?
To push them to think about this shows, about
the importance of discover. For that, one has to be aware of oneself. And for that, one has to meditate. You know, one has to sit early morning and try to control one's mind and more be connected with the heart. So that is the way. And read nice books, listen nice lectures, but we have to follow. When we read something, we listen something through one ear and we let it go through another one and we practice nothing, then it doesn't help. So one drop of practice is far better than the oceans of theories. So the practice, small things, even one drop of practice is far better than the theories of ocean. So one has to practice, one has to go ahead. If we step one step, if we go one step forward, I am sure you will come to closer and closer and closer to your heart, to your soul, and to your destination where you want to reach. So first we have to create our aim, what you want to realize in life, and accordingly you start stepping one after another steps to reach there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.